Hi everyone! Sorry for the background noise. The family's in the room. I had to hide them in there. But I'm a mom, this is why we're here, right? I think it's easier to go backwards in time to introduce myself than what's going on now. First off, my name is Miranda Yesicki, and technically I am everybody's upline in here. So I signed up and everyone's in my tree, so to speak. But Adriana is the host and we just jumped on to help out. So a little bit about me. Boo, I love you. A little bit about me. I have not had an easy life at all, and I always joke to those closest to me that I should write a book or something, and maybe I will, I don't know. There was never an easy button at all, and I definitely don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I feel like it's important to kind of open that door a little bit, just to kind of give a glimpse of how things started. And so I live now near Seattle, Washington. Before this, growing up until I was little until high school, I lived in a very, very small town of 3,000, and I hated it. I was bullied so bad. My family of 7, we were very, very poor, and with little towns, unfortunately, everybody knows everyone, and it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. I went through things that nobody should ever have to go through. Not only were we poor, we were dirt poor. From the time I was about 10 until I graduated, I lived outside of the town where there was no electricity. There was definitely no cable. There was no real running water. If there was 5 kids, okay, I was the middle child, and if I wanted to take a bath or something, I would have to heat up these ginormous tubs of water and put them on the wood stove and heat them up all day long in order to take a bath. I mean, that was my childhood. It was awful, and I was always made fun of by my siblings because even at the age of 6, I would have my little clipboard and trying to earn, quarter here, quarter there, trying to do chores because it was just, I knew I wanted more when I was young. And my brother would tease me, I thought for sure you would go into business right away, Miranda, because I was like this little entrepreneur when I was little. But I hated the struggle. I hated being poor. I hated it. And so I worked really hard. I was like this little adult child, And so fast forward, and yes, I was definitely bullied. It was bad. I was that shy little quiet girl in class. I was so shy and had gone through so much childhood traumas that I actually went through an extra grade in elementary school because the shyness handicapped me completely. I couldn't even talk to the teacher. Even if it was something nice, I couldn't even talk to her because I thought I was in trouble. It was bad. So I went through an extra grade in school, and fast forward, I was definitely that straight A student, nerdy, always working, and I hightailed out of there. Senior year of high school, I actually had my own apartment because I was crazy like that. And then I booked it out of there. As I was waiting for x-ray school, I actually got pregnant with my daughter. So I was 19, got pregnant, but that was not going to stop me. There was no way I was going to live how I grew up. There was just no way. And so here I am, 4 months pregnant, and I started the x-ray program, and it was brutal. They shoved 4 years of information into 2. I don't even know how I passed it. Somehow I got a 4.0. I don't know how I did it, but there was definitely a lot of compromise. Here I am, I just graduate, and I have to work full-time, take all this call. I didn't see my daughter for the first 2.5 years of her life. Grandma raised her. I'm thankful for Grandma, but I will tell you right now, the mom guilt is horrid. If I would have known about this business back then, in a heartbeat, I would not have gone through college. And I know that sounds crazy. I would have maybe done it later, under my terms, but I felt so stuck at that time, and I just had to keep going. And there was so many days where I'd work like 16 hours and just not even see her because she was asleep when I left and asleep when I came home, and it was awful. And I remember just crying in my kitchen one day. It was on a Wednesday. I remember thinking it was midweek, and I'm like, I still have 2 more days of this where I won't see my daughter. I'm like, there has got to be more than this, okay? So still go. I ended up taking a weekend gig where I worked 2 16-hour shifts, and I thought, whew, I'm set, you know? So I take that. My husband's working full-time Tuesday through Friday, and you know, I will admit we've made some really poor financial choices throughout our years. You know, we didn't have mom and dad teaching us what to, you know, don't spend this, don't spend that, and we really put ourselves in debt. I ended up accruing, I went back to college, and between the 2 colleges, I got $70,000 in student loans. Ouch. Because we had to live off them. We were so poor, we had to live off them. I mean, because we were on food stamps, the food bank, you name it, we were on it. And, you know, you just do what you got to do. And I remember graduating X-ray school and celebrating when I got off of all those programs, right? But fast forward, and here I am, years later, had a second child, my Drajan, and fast forward to more, and we just made really poor decisions. And looking in, people are like, oh yeah, they've got it made. She's got this great radiology supervisor job. She's head honcho. He's working. And it was, you know, we fooled everybody. You know, we were so broke. So I got pregnant for my 3rd one. My kids are now 14, 8, and 2.5. So I was pregnant with the 3rd, and it was pretty tough. I mean, it was, you know, clipping coupons. One of our Christmas, we actually did extreme couponing, not kidding, for gifts. And then here I am, I get pregnant, and the week that I found out I was pregnant, I found out my mom had cancer. And they made it very much seem like, oh, no biggie, you know, a little spot on her lung, she'll be fine. And, you know, as I'm getting bigger, my mom's cancer seemed like it was okay, you know. Well, it wasn't okay. It was much worse than we all thought. And I saw her for Thanksgiving, and I knew then, I work in the hospital, like I know. I knew that it got much worse and that we were losing her. And called her the next day, and she pretty much did not leave the hospital from there. At one point I stole her and I brought her over here because they live 3 hours away from me. And by then it was too late. And I will tell you right now, that was by far one of the hardest moments of my life, is holding my mom as she's crying, as the doctor tells her that there's nothing that they can do. And so here, you know, I've got my 2 kids with me. Thank goodness my brother came in and he like watched my kids real quick. But here I am, I can't even hug her right because I have this huge pregnant belly in front of me, you know. And at that point my mom's like, oh, I'll beat this cancer, no problem. And so it was such a difficult moment. And we ended up losing her. I was trying so hard to make it where she would last until I had the baby. Unfortunately, that did not happen. I lost her when I was 8.5 months along. And just to give you guys a little background with my mom, like, I don't know my real dad. So it was my mom and my sister, and yes, we had our step family mixed in, but it was like us against the world, you know? And so to lose her was like, I lost myself, you know? Like, she was like she was so different from me. Like, we were so opposite, but she was my best friend at the same time. Like, I was such a mommy's girl. I would call her like every other day. I mean, it was even in my 30s. I'm now 34, but that's how it was with us. And she was my listening ear. Whatever I was going through, she would just, you know, it's okay, Miranda. And I think more than anything, when I lost her, I just felt like nothing else mattered anymore. Like, I felt like life didn't have any meaning. I didn't know who I was anymore. I literally second guessed absolutely everything and like everything. Like I just didn't know anymore. And by the books, I had made it, right? But I felt like I was so lost, so lost. And I had baby Cade, and I remember talking to my sister, and I said, I gotta do something. I need to do something. And I feel like it should revolve around my health in some way, because at that point, and you moms especially will know, like it's so easy to put ourselves on the back burner, you know? Oh, we got to take care of the kids. Oh, shoot, I didn't exercise today. I'll do that tomorrow. You know, oh, shoot, I didn't eat my salad today. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. You know, and it's so easy to get complacent. And losing my mom at such a young age, she was 51, was just a really big wake-up call. Especially because I've always been that sick kid. I'm always sick. Like I've got autoimmune disorders myself. And so it was crazy. So here I was already battling the demons in my head. And my daughter was just bawling her eyes out thinking she's going to lose mom. And that was really my wake-up call that something had to change. You know, between that and us being dirt poor, I'm like, man, this is not life. I feel like we just are not, we're just existing. We're not living. Like, what is there, you know? And so I was talking to my sister, I'm like, well, maybe I should start a blog or something, you know, like something. And so then I'm like held accountable and I have to keep going. But I'm like, no, because there's so many blogs out there, you know, and that is where the door opened. So at the exact same time, I had just had this big 10-pound baby. I married an Islander. I have big babies. And I looked still like 8 months pregnant. And at the same time, I was told, not invited, told I was going to be in this wedding as a bridesmaid. And I'm a really private, shy person. And so the idea of going to this wedding and being on the center stage, looking very pregnant in front of a bunch of my coworkers was just like petrifying. And I have major anxiety, you guys, social anxiety. And so the idea of just being on the spotlight period, literally like I was having panic attacks. It was bad. And then I was like, I'm like huge. So I'm complaining on like Messenger to my friend that lives in Nebraska. And she's like, oh, you need to try these wraps. And I will be honest, I was kind of a turd about it. Like I was just like, whatever, you know. Been there, done that, tried that, done this, you know, and I've always tried all the things at like the Walgreens aisle, the Walmart aisles, all the weird things, the things that you shouldn't try, the dangerous, like all of it, things that I'm surprised I'm alive. And definitely homemade wraps. And I'm just, whatever. Well, she kept on my case, thank goodness. And then finally she said, Miranda, you need to go follow this chick on Facebook and then you'll believe me. I'm like, whatever. She's like, her name's Jessica. Back then it was Bongiorno, but she's gotten married, so it's Pearson. And she was my opposite. She's a hot shot fireball, New Jersey, in your face, don't mess with me. But her confidence was so intriguing. And her results, like she's a hot babe. Like she's beautiful. And she had this major transformation. And all I could think of was like, man, I want that. But I'm still just like kind of Facebook stalking. She has no idea who I am. And at this point, I'm just now returning back off of maternity leave because that's how little baby Cade was. And so I'm going back to work. I'm back. It was 4th of July weekend. And I had already had my plans to save my cell phone bill, which was like $175 for fireworks and be irresponsible. And knowing, oh, I'm going to get my regular paycheck soon. Because when you're on maternity leave, you only get like half of your pay. And so I was saving this money and I start researching. I'm a nerd, you guys. I'm a total nerd. And so I look at what was in the wraps, Googled it. Every single ingredient I Googled and I'm like, aha, that's why they work. It was totally like, okay, I get it now. And so then the nerdy me decided to, wow, they tell you what's in it. I'm just going to make it myself. So I add everything to my Amazon Prime account. The total was $324 and some cents. And somewhere I've got a picture of that. And all I could think, it was like, there's no way that my husband's going to go for this. No flipping way. And knowing me, because I'm Miss Klutz, I'm going to burn my skin off or something in the kitchen. And there's like everything everywhere. And I wasted all that. Like, crap. guess I'm gonna have to sign up. And I could hear my friend's voice in the back of my head. For only $40 more, you can sign up as a distributor. They're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should just sign up. That's totally not me. I don't sell things. Psh, no way. But maybe, you never know. I mean, what if, like, that's my incentive, is to make a lot of money but take care of myself at the same time? And so I sign up, and I end up calling customer service because I signed up underneath my friend. But I'm like, you know what? I have to sign up with this other chick. I just have to. I have to. There was something in me that, like, I had to do it. So I called customer service, switched to Jessica. At that point, she had no idea who I was. No idea. And I'm like, hi, I'm your new distributor. And I remember, like, just kind of briefly, I'm really competitive. I might be shy, but I'm also competitive. And I remember telling her, just so you know, I'm going to be your main distributor. Just so you know. And she was just like, huh? So fast forward, and within 30 days, I hit Ruby, which is the second rank. And at that point, they had this promotion going on where it was a $500 bonus. So I was all stoked. I'm like, yes, I'm averaging 500. I just made a $500 bonus. This is awesome. And to me, it was so easy because in your kit, you get 4 wraps. And by the way, anyone that has a spouse that is a turd, I have you beat. My husband finds out that I bought the kit and using the fireworks money. Oh my gosh, I was in the doghouse. Like, he was just like, what? That's a scam. You got scammed. You're so gullible, Miranda. Gosh, you did it again. Because I would always buy the infomercial stuff. And he's like, you did it again. Oh, now what am I going to buy the fireworks money? So we had like $20 for fireworks money. Whatever. And so the kit comes. I remember I bought it on July 4th, get the kit at July 10th, and there was 4 wraps. I made him use 2 and me use 2. And it was within that week because 1 wrap keeps shrinking you for the 3 days. And so there was 2 in that week. And I remember him telling me, see, that didn't work. And I show him his pictures and he had lost like 3 inches. And I'm like, see, they did work. And so that's where it kind of started. Because if you think about it, if you lost, for me, it was like 5 inches. It was crazy. If you lost all these inches, you know darn well your friends are going to notice, right? And that's how easy it was. I'm like, oh my gosh, look what worked for me. Just like if you got a cool purse at like Macy's or something, you want to show it off. And that was really where it was at. I have no experience, I was just excited. So I got that $500 bonus. I got the Ruby. And then I'm like, well, shoot, I'm going to sign up my husband because I want to make double the commission. Yeah, right. I knew he wasn't going to sell it. And so I signed him up, and 30 days I do it again. And so now there's 2 rubies in the house, average income about $1,000. And then we both made the $500 bonus. And I'm like, dang. And so there's been some trial and error since then. But now I'm a double diamond, which is the 5th rank. I'm like right next to my 6th rank. And technically close to being boxed for the 7th, but I have to restructure. But it is crazy. It is crazy. Shy Miranda, from a super small town, full on introvert. An introvert, my home is my happy spot. Like, I love being home. It is really hard to get me out to socialize. My friends make fun of me. But this is my happy spot, and no experience. I had no Instagram, and I had 50 Facebook friends. Because at that point, I intentionally hid from the world. Because it's like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I wanted nothing to do with anyone. I had gone through so much in my life that I literally hid myself. And it was just crazy. So 10 months in, I had retired my husband. You better bet he doesn't make fun of things anymore. We've won $45,000 in the bigger bonuses. Thousands in the other ones. I've lost count. We have paid thousands upon thousands of dollars in bills and debts. We went on our dream vacation this summer. Disneyland. I know that's so nerdy, but I had never been to Disneyland. We were too poor growing up. And Disneyland is not cheap. So all the way from Seattle down to San Diego, California, we did this huge drive, spent so much money, and it was so much fun. And it was just by far one of the coolest memories of my life. And, you know, I never expected all this. I had so low of expectation because, you know, the only kind of thing that I could relate it to is my grandma doing Avon out of her house and like all this shipping stuff in her living room. You know, that's the only experience I had. And I thought it was so weird, you know? But it's just, I wish I would have known this so much long ago because it literally has changed our life. My husband is a full-time dad, being here 7 days a week. I can afford basketball for my daughter. She's a top recruit in like the United States. She's very, very good at basketball, but her stuff costs so much money, and I would have had to say no to all of that. Like I'm about to homeschool my kids. I know that's crazy, but I can. I'm home 5 days a week. I still work full-time on the weekends. I could have retired months ago, but I'm waiting for things. And it's just crazy. You know, my husband's here so much, I'm here so much, and we're hands-on parents, and our kids are so happy. And that is what makes me happy. You know, everyone is so, like, we used to fight all the time. We were on the brink of losing our house. We were on the brink of losing everything. We were fighting constantly in our marriage. Like, so to go from that to this, I just spent a crazy amount on Christmas presents and it doesn't even matter. I still have money in the bank, you know? And I couldn't even put dinner on the table some nights. Not kidding. Like, it was that bad. We would go to a family's friends, you know, like family or friend's house to go eat dinner, maybe for a couple nights. Like, it was that bad. And so our lives are different. I finally feel like the puzzle pieces of what God had planned for me, it's all put together. I've been working at the hospital for 15 years now, and by far I have helped more people doing this than I could have with the hospital stuff. So I'm definitely in the right spot. I love my team, and it is so much more than a job. We are family, and if you could feel the energy in our secret group that we have, like, you would get it. We have, again, I'm the nerdy one, so I figured out all of what you should be doing and an easy step-by-step thing, and it's just you follow it, you know, and it's as simple as that. So I love it. I'm in my zone. I love it. It is definitely great for moms. You can work. My kids are here. You know, my whole family's in the room watching a movie right now. And that is crazy. That is just crazy. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you. I love you so much, and I will let the next person talk.